Do you think we are being herded into World War III?
One of the techniques of keeping people confused is overloading them.
I think we are so fragile right now as a country.
Our cybersecurity on our power system has not been upgraded to a great extent for the last 15 years.
It's like we're two different countries.
It is.
It's like we're a schizophrenic country.
When you look at everything going on, the outlook does not look good.
All right, Michael, we're getting ready to start the big interview here, but we have this segment we do before the big interview called the hot question. So here we go. In World War II, the trigger was visible. September 1st, 1939, and the world had a line you could point to. Today there are Today there may never be a single invasion moment because everything is being weaponized at once. Narratives, markets, technology, supply chains, and domestic division, with psychological warfare coming from outside and from within. So here's the question. Are we watching the modern version of the 1930s, where pressure campaigns and propaganda set the conditions until a major war becomes unavoidable? And if so, what are the clearest World War II era parallels you see playing out in real time right now?
Wow. That's quite the question. I'm actually going to take it back a war.
Okay.
Before World War One, historians would say the world was a tinderbox. It was ready to go, right? And then you had the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand that kind of kicked everything off, right? Even more than in 1939. 1939, Hitler invaded Poland and people were on edge. But in World War I, even more than that, there was more going on that the whole world was on edge, right, and ready to go. I frequently, when I'm talking to my wife, I'm saying, the world right now is a tinderbox. Everybody is on the edge of their seat waiting to see what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I see massive parallels to before World War I. I think we are more of a tinderbox than we were before World War II. World War II, there was still a possibility for diplomacy and some actions that could have been taken that may have forestalled a world war. World War I, everybody was so ready to jump in that it was almost a foregone conclusion. So having said that, yeah, I see a lot of parallels right now. Information is a huge area of warfare. The way information is disseminated, how it's disseminated, who it's disseminated to, is pitting people against each other. In the U.S., I think we are more divided than we've ever been. It's us versus them, and we talk at each other instead of with each other. I think internationally, we are not just us. Everybody is starting to position. And for those of us who are a little bit older and played the game of Risk, where you used to put things on a board and figure out where you're going to get power and get ready, I'm seeing all of the pieces moving around, and it scares me.
What exactly are you seeing as far as pieces moving around in strategic locations? I mean, we've been talking about Greenland, we've been talking about Panama,
Yep.
China, Taiwan situation, Russia, Ukraine,
Right.
Now Venezuela.
Right.
I don't know if that's a strategic location other than oil.
I think it's strategic not only for oil. A lot of people are saying, hey, it's oil, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is. Largest oil reserves in the world, right? Mm-hmm. It's also a positioning maneuver. It's positioning the U.S. as we can do what we want, where we want, when we want, and we have power. And it's kind of putting everybody else on notice.
I mean, I don't feel like that's a new thing.
What's that?
I don't feel like that's a new thing.
It's not, but it's never been so overt. We're more in the open with it now. I think before we were a little more subtle.
When is before?
Maybe
are we
not
talking
as much.
pre-World War I? Or are we talking?
No. Actually, I would say, yeah, it's funny because in my book, I detail a number of countries that we've done this to. Mm-hmm. And it's not new. We started, back in the Spanish-American War, and then in Haiti and in Nicaragua and in Honduras we've been doing this for a while. I feel like now it's been, because of information, the internet is great for getting information out, but it's also great for getting selective information out, if you will. Right now, the way that things are happening, more people are aware of what's happening. And we have to be careful about the way it's being spun in the narrative. When we, for example, we helped Panama secede from Colombia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not Colombia. Yeah. When we did that, how many people know? Right now, if you talk to people and say, well, Panama's always been a country, right? No, it hasn't. We helped them declare independence, and then we put warships off of the east and west coast to make sure that they maintained it because we wanted control of the whole canal area. That information is lost. And even at the time, not that many people knew it unless you read it in a newspaper somewhere. Now we're live casting from Venezuela. We're live casting from Ukraine. We're live casting from Gaza. The information is out there so fast and unfiltered. And then you've got people coming in and trying to filter it and spin to a narrative, right? I think this creates a whole different battleground, if you will, because now people can't just trust the government to say, well, you guys have the information. I'll trust you're doing the right thing. They're looking at, hey, I just saw this on the news. What are you doing? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. They don't know how to deal with it.
They don't. And quite honestly, you and I have seen things in warfare, you more than I. We're broadcasting it into people's living rooms now. And I think we're causing PTSD in the human population from seeing this. And that has its own set of issues and its own set of consequences.
What other parallels are you seeing? Was the country this divided before World War I? Is that a parallel?
Not as much, and now I'm gonna skip all over. Not as divided as much as in World War I as it was prior to World War II. Remember, right before we entered World War II, before Pearl Harbor, we were very divided on whether or not we should enter the war. A lot of people were isolationist and like, hey, let's just stay out of it, not our war, right? Other people were, no, we have to go help. Pearl Harbor kind of galvanized everyone together under one opinion that, hey, we got to go. We were attacked. We're going, right? For all the right reasons. I haven't seen, though, I think we are more divided right now than I have seen or that I have noticed in history. We're very partisan now. I mean, we're going to get deep into some things here. I kind of trace that back personally. I trace it back to mid-'80s. Newt Gingrich was one of the first ones in our Congress that started looking at political parties as warfare and started saying, we have to treat this as warfare, right? We have to attack the enemy. We have to overcome, right? And he didn't have a monopoly on that. But before that, even though there were arguments in Congress, it seemed that people were more willing to negotiate and say, we both agree on the same outcome. We just agree on how disagree on how we should get there. Today, I don't see that willingness. I see it as more as those people are bad, and we hate them, and we don't want to believe anything they say, and we're good. And then 4 years later, it's like, well, those people are bad, and we don't agree with them, right? And we try and undo everything. Instead of building on what has happened before, every 4 years we try and undo what they did, right? And you can't do that and move forward. I mean, think about it in business. How would a business do that, where every time you changed a department head,
No, it'd be destroyed.
they wanted to come in, yeah, I'm going to undo everything they did.
I mean, even we're talking about people moving chess pieces on the board all over the world,
Yeah.
you know? And I mean, we just saw with Afghanistan. I mean, China's a huge threat. We gave up Bagram, super strategic location for a potential conflict with China, and we fucking gave it up. And now we got this guy in, he wants it back. You know, and it's like we're two separate. It's like we're two different countries. So
It is.
It's like we're a schizophrenic country.
It is. It is. And it's gotten to the point, I love debating things with people. And I am the consummate devil's advocate. Whatever you're going to tell me, I'm going to argue the other point. I may not believe the other point, but I want to argue it, if nothing else, than to just sharpen my own understanding. Like, I want to hear, I want to learn. I want to hear, what have you got? Right? Because that helps me understand. I don't see a lot of that happening today. A lot of it is just, as soon as you hear something you don't like, you just say, I don't believe that. Fake news, conspiracy theory, not true, not even going to consider it. Well, what if it's not true? You've got to at least consider it and think about it. And if there's one thing I think I've learned in life, is perspective is everything. I've sat on a number of juries in my life, and it's fascinating where the prosecution comes in and they give their opening statement, and you're thinking, oh, this person's guilty of sin. There's no way, right? We can just stop the trial right now. He's guilty. And then the defense attorney comes in and tells you the same thing, but using different words. You're like, oh, he's absolutely innocent. It's all how you spin it and how you approach it, which a large part of my book is about. It's about how Americans live in information bubbles, right? We don't see all of the information, and then we make choices on partial information. And that leads to bad choices.
I don't even know if it's possible to get all the information anymore with the way the algorithms are set up and put you in a cage.
Right.
It would be, I mean, I don't even know if it's a possibility.
I agree.
And then you have to sift through all the bullshit, whether it's mainstream media or social media.
And one of the techniques of keeping people confused is overloading them. They don't have time. Who has time to sift through all of this? So what you do is you find somebody that you think sifts through it, and you listen to them,
Yeah.
right? That's dangerous
Yeah.
because you never reevaluate. Once you've made your decision and said, I trust this person, you don't go back and go, do I still trust this person? Right? Am I going to reevaluate? You buy what they say,
Yeah.
right? And they have ulterior motives as well. I'm going to do a gratis plug, if you will. I use an app called Ground News that I love. I found it. I'm always looking for a news aggregator to get as much news as I can because I want it from different places. Ground News does that, and I love it because they say, here's a headline. Here's the bias bar. 20% of the left-wing newspapers are covering this. 50% of the right-wing are covering this. So you're going to get more right-wing coverage than left-wing. Then they have, this has been in 44 newspapers. Here they all are on a graph of where those newspapers generally lie choose which one you want to read. And we'll give you an overview, but you can choose and see what kind of bias you're going to get when you read this.
Interesting.
I'm like, well, that's nice. And I'll typically on kind of hard charging issues, I'll pick the most right-wing one and the most left-wing one I can and read both articles and kind of see, okay, where are we? What's going on?
Yeah. There's another site called Real News No Bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
You might want to check that one out. It's
Yeah.
pretty good too. I've had them on.
Yeah.
So
People are trying.
they are. They
People
are
are trying.
trying. Even some politicians are trying.
Some.
Not very many.
I got to tell you, I saw the most interesting ad the other day. And I think it was, God, I think it was governor of Wisconsin. Are they reelecting one?
No idea.
I forgot. But both of the candidates came on together and said, we need to improve. Here's what needs to improve. Then they both looked at each other and went, right? And they both went, yeah. And one guy said, I think we can best improve by doing it this way. The other guy said, I think we can best improve by doing it this way. And he
Wow.
said, and one guy said, I hope you vote for me and I hope you agree. The other one said, I hope you vote for me and hope you agree. And they looked at each other and said,
When did this happen?
and they said, we approve this message. I'm like, oh my God,
Wow. Holy shit.
this is what politics should be.
Yeah.
Disagree on how you're going to get there, but let's agree on what we need to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got to go find it because I hate giving information when I don't have the exact facts, but I did see it. It was real. It was within the last 6 months. I've got to go find it so I can reference it.
We'll find it and put it up right now.
There you go.
Perfect. There's a follow-up question here. Do you think we are being herded into World War III?
Feels that way,
It sure does.
doesn't it?
Absolutely does.
When you look at everything going on, the outlook does not look good. When I was a pilot, we talked about chain of events. Whenever there was a mishap, when something happened, it didn't happen in a vacuum. An event happened. But you look back and you're like, well, before that, this aircraft had a maintenance issue. The pilot had a flat tire on the way to the squadron that day, right? The other pilot was in a fight the night before. You go back and you see a chain of events. And we were trained to start noticing those. Notice when you see a chain starting to form and break it. It's okay to come in and say, hey, someone else needs to take this flight because I see this happening. And if I just extrapolate, it's not going to end up in a good spot. I see a chain of events happening right now. It worries me. It worries me a lot not because the chain is forming, and I don't think I'm the only one to see it. I think a lot of people are feeling uncomfortable. The thing that worries me is that the people that should be able to break that chain are not.
Would you say they're escalating it?
I would, actually.
How so?
If you look at world events right now, I mean, was there a reason for Russia to invade Ukraine right now? Are we talking about bombing Iran right now? Are we toppling the government in Venezuela right now? Talking about Greenland right now? I mean, if you look back, there are so many things happening right now. Mm-hmm. It's hard not to put those together and say, it's building, it's escalating.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. I try to look for something positive and I can't find it. So I don't know if the world had less activity 25 years ago or not because I wasn't paying attention. I just wasn't old enough to give a shit.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, if this is more escalation than what we've seen,
I think it is.
It feels like it.
It does. One when I look back, same thing, right? When you're young, you don't notice a lot of stuff going on, but you start to, and then you think back, and you can go back and research and go, was there ever this much stuff going on? And I would say not to this degree of number and not to this intensity. There's a lot going on. And something has to change. Either we end up in a world war or somebody de-escalates somehow. But even a world war, it's not going to be the way it was. World War I and World War II were, 10, 12 years apart. Same kind of warfare, upgraded weapons a little bit, but generally speaking, same kind of warfare. Not today.
Yeah, we're almost. It won't even look similar to the Afghanistan-Iraq wars.
No. I mean, I don't know. I'm out of the military. I don't have any access to anything classified. I know what was around when I was in. And if I extrapolate that, wow, I can't imagine. When we see things that happen, and a lot of people, us, all of us, we don't always connect the dots and say, well, if this happened here, then this could happen here. And little things, well, not little, but they seem separated. Remember when New Orleans, the dike broke and flooded most of New Orleans after the hurricane, right? It was a disaster. People couldn't get food. They had no electricity, started getting disease, famine, everything in a major U.S. city, right? All an enemy has to do is turn off our power, right? And could be cybersecurity. Our cybersecurity on our power system has not been upgraded to a great extent for the last 15 years. If I were another country that wanted to attack us, I don't need bombers. I don't need nuclear weapons. I need cyber. I need to turn off your power. I need to turn off your communication. And I need to somehow short circuit your supply system. All of those are not hard to do. So when we say World War III, I'm not seeing bombs and lines of battle, and I think it's going to be much more systemic than that, than anything else.
When I look at some of the stuff that China is saying, Russia, they don't like us being the world police. I don't like us being the world police.
We shouldn't be the
American
world
people
police.
don't want us to be the world police. But
Yeah.
BRICS.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have any real allies. I think it would be, I think we're going to have a run for our money here. And I don't think it's going to go kinetic.
I agree. I don't think it'll be kinetic.
I don't even know if they would. Because right now, I mean, if you look at what they're doing right now with all the propaganda and I mean, I think we're doing a great job of turning ourselves against each other as it is, but Russia's also doing it. China's also doing it. I'm sure there's other players involved as well. And that's, they're dumping gas on this. And I just had this conversation. I can't remember with who, but I think we are so fragile right now as a country that they're not going to need to cut our power. They're not going to need, I don't think they're going to need to do anything where there could be a trace back to them.
I think we'll do it to ourselves.
I think we'll do it. I think they're helping us do it to ourselves, and they're
do it to
dumping gas
ourselves.
on the fuel for us to do it to ourselves. But if they can do it, if they can cause a civil war, a regime change, same shit that just is going on in Iran right now.
Yeah.
If they can cause that to happen here, and we're pretty fucking close.
We are close.
And look at what's going on in Minnesota right fucking now. And probably in a lot of other cities. I think we are very close. We're on the brink. It could go into civil war. It could go into regime change. A lot of things could happen. Once it does happen, though, the amount of guns and weapons in this country, it is astronomical. Astronomically more than anything that I've ever seen. And I've been in some nasty fucking places.
Yeah.
And so if they can get that to happen, this will become the most dangerous country in the world. Nobody's coming in here. There's no nation building
No.
when the U.S. turns on itself.
No.
It is fucking pure carnage everywhere you look. And everybody here is armed to the teeth.
And I think, quite honestly, if we're honest with ourselves, we are already one of the most dangerous countries in the world. Other countries, we warn U.S. citizens, don't go to Iran, right? Don't go to Venezuela. Don't go to wherever. Other countries are warning their citizens, don't go to the U.S. I mean, if you look at the number of civilians that are shot and killed every year, we're number one. What country has more of its citizens in prison than any other in the world? We're number one, right? I mean, if you step outside the U.S. and you start looking in, we're not a safe place.
I mean, you don't even have to pull up statistics.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm very pro-gun. I am pro-2A.
I am too.
I want to give them up.
I am too.
But it is a fact. But I mean, I'm pretty well traveled. We travel a lot, for business. We go to other parts of the world. I mean, this county is really nice, but go to Chicago, and then go to some city overseas and tell me which one's shittier.
What's that?
Tell me which one is shittier, which one has outdated infrastructure. Where do you feel like there are constantly threats around you? Where it's a big fucking lie.
It's funny. I go to Tokyo. I walk around downtown Tokyo in the middle of the night as a foreigner and feel absolutely safe. I was recently in Istanbul. 2:00 in the morning, we decide, let's go get some food. Just walk around Istanbul. Feel absolutely safe. I go to New York City. I'm looking over my shoulder every 2 feet. I feel very unsafe there, right? Los Angeles, same thing. Chicago, same thing. It's weird because we have this American exceptionalism where we are the best. Okay. And we are. We're a great country. But we shouldn't be afraid to go out in our own cities. And if we are, we have to be honest and look ourselves in the face and say, why? It's not just a system. It's not just a symptom of a large city, because other large cities in the world aren't like that. So what is it? What are we doing?
I think it's a number of things. I think it's greed. All of our money is leaving the country. I think it is the bastardization of law enforcement, the lack of respect. Not just all the shit we see on the news right now. It is. I mean, we have destroyed trust in law enforcement. So there's that. Now all these guys are too scared to do their job. Rightly so. If they make a mistake, they're probably going to pay with it with their life, sit in prison. Those are the two things that come to my mind.
It's
Lack of trust in all institutions.
all institutions, right? And when you look at it, all of our major institutions that make a country what it is, our government, our healthcare, our education, our law enforcement, our social services, our military, we've lost faith in almost all of them because of things that have happened. And how do you lose faith, right?
Well, you never see any consequences or repercussions or anybody held accountable in any position of power. It's obviously a two-tiered system, but this isn't a fucking conspiracy anymore. It is a fucking two-tiered system.
Without a doubt.
You know, and so how do you get the trust back? Well, first you have to pin somebody's ass to the wall who actually did something wrong. And these people don't have the fucking courage to do that.
Without a doubt. You know what? And if I just finished Assad Khan's book, Betrayal of Command. And, you know, he was talking about some of this, right? And if there's anything I take out of that and anything that I like to see in the U.S. and what I used to see in the Marine Corps, and I haven't been in the Marine Corps since 1994, right? But Marines used to be proud that they were Marines. And no matter what, if you said something, that's the way it was. If you did something wrong, at least the people I was with, you would say, yeah, my bad. I screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
I'll fix it. Or tell me what I need to do to fix it, but I screwed up, right? You don't see that a lot today.
There's no ownership.
No. And especially with our government, you see something happen. I'm like, we see what happened. We're not stupid. We see what happened. Just own up to it and tell us how you're going to fix it. Don't blame it on everybody else.
Yeah.
That is the weakest, I would say, form of leadership, but it's not even leadership. That is the largest abdication of leadership, when you won't even own up to things. I know, we both just take a deep breath and like, what are we going to do?
Because it's not going to get fixed.
It's not. It's entrenched now and it's systemic. And that means that there has to be a systemic change. And I don't want to be the one that comes on your show and says, revolution, right? But things have to change. And we are right now, whether we want to define ourselves that way or not. In the world, we're an empire. We control other countries economically, militarily. We tell them what to do, and they have little choice but to comply. We're an empire. If you study every empire that has ever existed on the planet, they all end, and they all end badly, because they start believing their own lies, and they stop taking accountability for what they do. They do it because they can, and they get away with it because they can, and nobody ever calls them on it until you can't do it anymore. It's like a Ponzi scheme. Eventually it falls. If we had leaders that took more accountability, like I said, if something went wrong, say it went wrong. Don't try and spin it. Don't try and convince us that it was the right thing. We all see it. And I think that's one of our biggest things that has to change, or the future will change us.
No matter where you're watching the Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this at all, anything, please like, comment, and subscribe. And most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, head to Apple Podcasts and Spotify and leave us a review.